We are the sons and daughters of a people history tried to erase, but truth made unforgettable. We are the ones who marched without backing down, sat without bowing, spoke without fear, and loved even when unloved. Our chains became crowns, our scars became banners, and our voices, drums that even silence respects.
Thank you for tapping in. This is Brian HRap Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. The name of this program is A Few Minutes with HRap. Today, we're going to say, look at history. We're going to look at history. The reason we're going to look at history because history teaches us everything that we need to know. It teaches you about the things that you've done wrong. You look back in your past, you say, man, I could have done this better. It teaches you everything that you've done right, which means you don't realize the journey that you've taken and how far you've come. It also teaches you the things that have been done to you so you can correct them, so you can fix them, so you'll never make the mistakes that you've made again. We're going to talk about that today because it seems as if we, as a community, Black people in these United States of America, Black people as citizens of the United States of America, we have not actually looked in our past and seen greatness, and it comes from greatness. You see that? He's standing there, he's well cropped, he's well dressed, and he's right next to someone who's doing the same thing and is representative of an ancestor of his. We need to do that, and we also need to realize what we've been through, where we are, and where we're going. It is literally a term called Sankofa. Looking back is a bird looking back with an egg in his mouth, looking at the past. As he sits in the present, the egg in his mouth represents the future, so he knows exactly where he's going. With that being said, I want to thank you for tapping in. It is important that you do so. Hey, if you want to help me out with the algorithm, you can go to www. If you're not watching this live, www.theendofthebench.com is my website. This is being streamed live there. You go there, hit play. You can watch it. There's also a video that I'll show a portion of in which you can pay attention to it, and then you can go watch it in its entirety. It is called It is from a page on YouTube called The Black Journals. The Black Journals gives you information about our community and people in our community, things in our community. It will definitely empower, uplift, and inform you. I search these pages so I can both A, support them, and B, give you the information so you can support them as well as you support me. Now, another thing is this. I want to say, hit the thumbs up, hit like, hit share, tell a friend, tap in, as I say every day. I want to thank my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there is no me. Without me, you'd be doing something else with your valuable time. Thank you. Let's get now. Why do we need to pay attention to history? Why do we need to look at history? You know, today, every Monday, I do 2 podcasts. I do A Few Minutes with HRap, which is a myriad of things, social things, political things, cultural things. Basically, as I say every time I come on air, I want to give you information so we can make our great-grandchildren's grandchildren, listen to that, our great-grandchildren's grandchildren have a better life than we have ever even dreamed upon. Just like we are living a life that is better than our great-grandparents' grandparents. So what we have to do is continue that tradition. Is it a perfect life? Is it pristine? Of course not. But what we are living is in a situation to whereas I don't believe we've paid enough attention to our grandparents' dreams. A lot of us assume our grandparents wanted us to be like Barack Obama. Hey, good brother. I don't care what nobody say. Oh man, he didn't. He done way more than you, but we're not gonna get into that. They didn't dream about a Barack Obama. You know, they dreamed about going back home. Our great-grandparents dreamed about going back on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. But since we didn't do that, what we need to do is make sure our great-grandchildren's grandchildren have a better dream than we even fulfill. We're living a good life in the United States of America for all intents and purposes if you compare it to most people throughout the entire world. But we're not living a life that we should be living. If we paid attention to history enough, then what we would do is put ourselves in position to whereas we would never be oppressed depressed, disrespected, disregarded, or discriminated against ever again. We don't understand the power that we have. That's why we allow things to happen to us. We think, hey man, we some hard luck case. I mean, see, they, one of my least favorite things to hear about people in our community is they are not going to allow us to do that. We will definitely not be allowed to do anything. Do you think our enslaved ancestors were allowed to get emancipated? No. They won the war, they kicked butt, and they forced that hand. Do you think that people right after them during Reconstruction were allowed? No, they were not. Do you think the people in the early 1900s? No, they were not. The mid 1900s? No, they were not. The late 1900s? No, they were not. And here we are in the early 2000s, and we're still in the exact same situation. You ask me, the problem is not the oppressor. He's doing what he was born to do. He is basically genetically predisposed to do the things that he's doing to you and to anybody else he's doing it to. But we're not going to talk about anybody else. Then we're going to talk about us. We're going to talk about us. And why am I talking about us? Because that seems to be the problem. We continue to make things happen for everybody else. See, I had another program that I was going to do today, and I'm going to do it Wednesday. It's not going to be trash. It's still relevant. This needed to be said today, though. What I want us to understand is this. We are fighting the wrong fight. And I'm going to say it to you. We are fighting the wrong fight. We have the illusion of inclusion. You need to allow us to get in on this. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because guess what? We can go back to the beginning of times. We invented the medication and the style of medicine that we use to this freaking day. Hotep created the medicines that we're using tonight, the techniques. Hotep, look it up. See, y'all think Hotep is, hey, what's up, peace, brother, and love? No. Hotep is a scientist. Look him up. He is one of our people from Kemet, or you might call it Egypt, or you might call it Nubia, the Sudan, or whatever. We did that. The irrigation systems that we use to pump water into our homes, we did that. See, we want to be included on our own invention. That's literally like telling somebody that your parents need to give birth to you. No, they did it already. So all you do is live the life that your parents provided for you and elevate, even if it's one step ahead. Now you're a step in front of your parents, and your children go 2 steps or 5 steps or 10 steps in front of you, and it continues to be a situation of that nature. But we haven't learned how to do that. What we've done for 400 years, what we've done for 161 years, what we've done in this century alone for 25 years is attempt to be included in something, attempted to be invited to something, attempted to be welcomed into something that has told us to KMA every chance they got. And if you don't know what KMA means, I'm sorry. Figure it out. But they've told us, they've given us their behinds every single solitary chance they've had. And what have we done? Well, wait a minute. Not yet. No, but we need to start accepting it that we are not the flavor of the month. We are actually we're the actual taste of the month. But we refuse to allow ourselves to be identified as that. We refuse to allow ourselves to be identified as the premium. Just imagine that you were an eagle and you were hanging out with chickens, and the chickens were laughing at you because you had those big clumsy wings and you had those funny looking feet, and you could barely walk, and you waddled while they could run. And they made fun of you because you look funny to them. And then you spend your entire life trying to fit into the chicken world, when if you just expand your arms, start flapping, you will fly away. And that's what the Black community is right now. We're eagles walking around with a bunch of chickens. We're walking around with a bunch of turkeys. We're walking around with ostriches. They can't fly. They can run fast. They can't outthink you. They can't do anything better than you, but you look funny to them. And if you don't get the metaphor, look at this. That black skin. Black ain't good. Look how black you are. Look how big your lips are. Look. That's all you are is this. You can only run and jump and throw and catch, sing and dance. Just like the eagle. You're just big and clumsy. But the whole time, if the eagle just start living up to his abilities, he'll fly away and become the great. He will look and would be the superior animal. They will all still be birds, but the eagle would be the superior being. We, black people in these United States of America, are eagles, and we're walking around on the ground. We're not flying through the air with the greatest of ease. We're not dive bombing and grabbing fish out the ocean and living. We're walking around. We're limiting ourselves because we want to be in the chicken coop, and we're not built to be in the chicken coop. Meanwhile, if we start being who we are, the chickens will continue to be jealous of us because bigger in regards to the animal world is better. Stronger in regards to the animal world is better. Smarter in regards to anything is better. So if you're bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, why are you walking your ass around thinking you're a chicken, thinking you're a turkey, or even if you're big enough, you think you're an ostrich, but you're really not flying. You're not living up to your capability. Well, an ostrich can run 65 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour. But guess what? You can't fly. And black people, we can fly. If you don't think you can fly, watch this. People came and got us and took us from our homeland, and we were already over here, and they uprooted us, and they put us in bondage, and they stripped us of everything. Somehow, some way, those things still translate, and we still have those things because they're genetically predisposed to be inside of us. Just like the fact that I'm doing this program is a page right out of my father's book. My father died way before the term podcast was even considered. Before the thought of broadcasting your own information, your own opinions in front of the world was even considered. My father been dead 55 years. Nobody thinking podcast that, but guess what? The very things that my dad used to talk about, I talk about here on these podcasts. Never met him. Never he had a chance to hold me. But hey, guess what? I shine just like he would. Had he lived, he'd be shining too. But we don't realize that. We don't realize it because we're trying to work to get a pension because somebody told us that's what we're supposed to do. And you're supposed to work and get a pension. And then you can retire. You can work till you're 65 years old, and then you're going to die when you're 73. Or even more tragic, you can work till you're 63 years old, 62 years old, and be retired. And when you're 63 and you pass away in September of your 62nd year, 90 days before you turn 63, my mother's story. See, if we continue to allow people to tell us and limit us and predict what is what, we will continue to struggle. What we have to do, number one, is face it. We're unwelcome. We're not the people that they want at the party. It's the beautiful part. Good, because we outnumber everybody. We outnumber everybody. We invented the things that everybody uses. We make the music that they dance to. We make the movies that they watch. They love the books that we write. They love the academic prowess that we exhibit. They love our they love everything about us, but they really don't want to be involved because then it makes them feel small. See, I guarantee you, everybody who will ever listen to this episode or even a clip when I post them will be able to identify with this. How many times, because you were doing well, you have somebody on the side going, whether it be an outfit that you're wearing, an accomplishment that you have, or even just the way you walk. You look ... and he thinks ... And that's what we're suffering as a community. We need to face it. Look, if you choose to watch this document, watch me later on this evening while I do my other program, you will understand exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't even watch that program, I want you to watch this program, Hurricane Katrina, Race Against Time. It's on Hulu. It is one compelling documentary, and it gives you a dictionary definition. It walks through every way, shape, and form they think of us. People getting shot in their back in front of tens of thousands of people. They framed you in a horrible way, and we even defend the framing. Well, because you'll go, well, our young people aren't like this, and those people aren't like that, and then you'll have someone say, well, they did do that, but like in Hurricane Katrina, think of anything. Just use your memory if you can in regards to Hurricane Katrina. A lot of people think about the people that were looting. But what about the tens of thousands of people that were at that Superdome? What about the thousands of people that were drowning? What about the thousands of people that's living on top of their homes? Why were they looting? See, you need to understand that if you put somebody in a dire situation and ask them to act with class and pristine behavior, you are outside of your damn mind. See, that's why I want you to watch this documentary so you can understand why some of those people were doing nefarious things. Am I excusing any behavior that was not, well, that was just, you had dummies stealing TVs? No. But just like here in Chicago, you see young people cut a food and they put it on TV. And the first thing you hear a lot of people say is, these young people are no good. Never taking into consideration the young people in your family that are doing excellent. Your young neighbors that are doing excellent. Your friends' children, your neighbors' children, the children that are just interacting throughout the city that you see doing great. But we don't compare ourselves to them. We immediately take ourselves. See, we need to do better. Nah, stop allowing. This is why you need to stop allowing somebody to frame who you are. Why is it that you can show 100 or 1,000? Let's just say a big number. Why can you show 1,000 young people acting a fool? And then that is the dictionary definition. See, our children need to do better. Not those children need to do better. Our children. But then in the same breath, you see a mass shooting by some crazy white man. You see the Ku Klux Klan. You see the skinheads. You see these racist people running the United States federal government right now. And Trump is the wrong person, not white folks. Not I almost said new gangers. Any of them do. Any of those racist jackass, J.D. Vance, Raphael Cruz. I refuse to call him Ted. His name is Raphael Cruz. Raphael Cruz, Boebert, or any of those racist people that stand up. We do not attach nefarious behavior to the entire white community when those bigots stand up and do bigoted things. When they do have discriminatory practices, we don't attribute that to white America. We attribute it to them. See, Trump is crazy. But if you understand how the government works, it takes 232 people in the House of Representatives to agree with the president. It takes 60 people in the Senate to agree with the president. It takes 50 governors to agree with the president. It takes hundreds of mayors to agree with him. And that's what. But it's Trump. No, it's them. Just like it's all of our kids that's acting fool, or it's black people need to stop stealing. When you watch this documentary, you see people who are walking, they're taking groceries to people who are literally dying. And all you know is they're stealing. You have a governor that come on television and initiate military action against civilian people attempting to not drown and die. And she literally says, shoot them on sight. You have clowns like Geraldo Rivera with a snidely whiplash looking ass, congratulating people for shooting people. You have a militia of people who said, these people wanted to be murdered. It was suicide. That's why I killed them. How many people you killed? I don't know. It was enough of them. And then one of them tried to justify his illicit behavior by saying, I ain't shoot to kill him. I just shot him to take him down. Like if you shoot me in my thigh, you won't hit my carotid artery, and then I won't bleed out in 6 to 8 seconds if you hit me in the right place. And a major carotid artery is in your neck. And we keep giving people passes. Oh man, see, Rap, you don't know any white people. So you can't speak for all white people. So that means I don't know my nephew's mother. My nephew Nathan's mother is white. I got 2 other nephews' mother, white. Yeah. I don't know Gregson Doikis. I don't know Nick Kalamatasakis. I don't know a myriad of white people. Pat Finn, Michael Flink, James Devine. I don't know them. Jeremy K. I can sit here for an hour and name you some good white folk. But guess what? Those are not the white folks I'm talking about. See, we continue to defend and lump in our good friends and our good neighbors and our good co-workers with their nefarious, wicked, and evil relatives and their cousins. You know, we do the invert. We see HRap still in the car and black folks still. We see, sorry, Pat Finn shoot up a grocery store. And it's realize and not realize we're not welcome. They do everything they can to make you feel like trash. I'll see, you know, it ain't. I don't know nobody with an MBA, but I do know a bunch of people. I don't know a lot of people with bachelor's degrees, which myself included, and I know a bunch of them. I know a lot of black people with high school graduate. I don't know a lot of black people don't. Yes, you do. You know a bunch. You know, if you know thousands of people, you only know 8 to 10. And if you're in a horrible situation, 20 people who've had bad situations in their life where they had to make horrible decisions. And I mean criminality. I don't mean bad decisions, this or that. I mean, they've turned the crime as a way of life. Look at the backstory. Well, you need to do better. Yeah, that sounds good until you're up against the wall and you feel like you don't have any choices. You know, but we're not welcome in these circles. We're not in situations to whereas we're encouraged to do things. Then I want to ask this question. Why do we fight so hard to be a part of these situations? You argue, you don't get a promotion. Oh man, I can't believe they didn't promote me. Really? Let me see. The ancestors are the people who captured you and beat you and stripped you of just about everything they could and beat you within an inch of humanity. The ancestors are the people who burned down your houses and your towns and raped your women. The ancestors are the people who created laws to make sure you will stay in poverty. The ancestors are the people who continue to perpetuate a negative image, never mind what your community has accomplished, continue to put out the worst of the worst about you. These people are the same people who you believe gonna give you a fair shake. This is who you think gonna give you a fair shake. These the people who shot a person who they've never seen do anything violent, who said, I should defend myself, by the name of El Malik Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X. These people shot a war veteran for registering people to vote and exercise their right, Medgar Evers. These people who beat Fannie Lou Hamer almost to death because she wanted to vote. The same people who did these things, the same people who busted in the house and blew Fred Hampton away, the same people who killed a man who said, I don't want to hear nobody, I just want a chance. I just want my chance. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I can go on and on and on. And you expect a fair shake from them? How about this? Realize it ain't on them to give you a fair chance. You got to be in you, man. You're not gonna get a fair shake, but that don't mean stop. But understand, when you get beat for a chance, that means you need to do something else. That means, okay, I understand. I've been there. At one point in my life, I wanted to be in management at work. I mean, upper management. I was killing. I was one of the top employees. Everybody throughout the office was singing my praises. I walked, hey, bro, he be killing it. I was there. And It was a supervisory position open. And guess what? I stepped in and I attempted to apply for that position, and they turned me down cold X. But you know what I did? And I'm not saying, and this, I was in my 20s, 55. I was in my 20s at the time. And you know what I did? I kept getting paid. And I continue to strive for things. And so I could put myself in an independent situation. I'm rapping with my man Craig and Stacy and other people. We were talking about what we were going to do. Because when you hit the ceiling, it ain't time to work twice as hard. Are you outside your damn mind? So you mean to tell me if you were building cars and you could just make one car by yourself, and you're the only person that can make one car by yourself, and they don't promote you, I'm going to show them I can make two. So you're going to make them twice the money, and they're going to give you the same pay. And that's what you've been programmed into believing. I'm going to work twice as hard and receive the exact same compensation in hopes that they will welcome me. You are not welcome. Stop it, man. History, again. History shows you come from excellence, you are in excellence, and guess what? You have to create your own platforms. Just ESPN don't want me on there, man. You can ask anybody that know me. I can talk sports with the best of them. I will run laps around 99% of those dudes at ESPN. I got more personality than them. I got more information in my head. I don't need a producer. I don't need a teleprompter. Guess what? There's no teleprompter here. I'm pulling all this out of my head. Now, I did study. I'm not finna tell you I'm Jay-Z and I just spit this stuff out of my head. I did study and read and do a lot of research, but I just want you to understand I'm not built for that because I'm not a corporate guy. I'm not working my behind off. I'm not going to be like, no disrespect to Smith or Harvey. If you don't sleep, when you're working, you ain't going to get no sleep. Now you're a damn lie. I'm going to get me some sleep. I'm giving me some rest, and I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to spend time with my friends. Anytime you sit on television and you try to indoctrinate people into slavery, which our brother Stephen A. Smith did on Gilbert Arenas' podcast Friday, he said, I don't believe in the work-life balance. What if you don't like your family? And 50% of your time with your family and 50% of the time working, what if you don't like your family? You wasted time. Well, you don't have to like your family. But you know what? You can inspire younger people in your family. So if I don't like my sister Phyllis, all her children like me, and I can inspire them. That's why you must have a work-life balance, because your younger people in your family can use you as a springboard. But all you worry about, and to quote him, first thing I do when I get to work is think about how I can make my boss some money and how can I get some. You are not welcome. He talks about how he works 300 days, 350 days out of 365 days. They had to force me not to pick cotton. Listen to that, man. Your family life is suffering. I don't give a damn how much money you make. And do I want to make millions of dollars? Boy, you just don't understand how much I want to make $1 million. Do you know how many people in my family wouldn't have to, wouldn't be worried right now if I had that bag? But we trained each other to believe that I can't. But what can't you do? You can't say you can't be in government, because we've seen black governors, we've seen black mayors, we've seen black senators, we've seen black representatives, we've seen a black president, we've seen black generals, we've seen black heads of industry. We've seen it all. So what is it that you can't do? But you're just not welcome in theirs. You continue to say, well, they need to make me a head coach. No, they don't. How about this? People like my brother Mark Jackson, people like our brother Patrick Ewing, and people like Sam Cassell. Why are you sitting around begging for one of the 30 jobs in the NBA when you can go to a HBC? Just imagine if Sam Cassell, Patrick Ewing, and Mark Jackson showed up at Southern University or Grambling University and said, we already millionaires. What we're going to do is present you with $3 million so you can rehab some of the sport athletic facilities, and we're going to pay our way around. Which one of y'all, if Sam Cassell, Mark Jackson, and Patrick Ewing walked in your house, your son's 16, he the #1 basketball player in your state, or he's the forgotten Ja Morant basketball player in your state, he's 6'8", and he can get down. Which one of y'all gonna say, don't go with Mark, don't go with two of those Hall of Fame level players and one All-Star level player and go to a HBCU. Go to the other school. No, you're not gonna say that. And just in case you think, well, those schools are better. Well, 80% of the doctors come from HBCUs. 99% of the architects that are women in the United States of America come from HBCUs. 99%. You got lawyers coming from HBCUs. You got physicians coming from HBCUs. You got heads of industry coming from HBCUs. So you can't use that lie, but you keep trying to go over there and get paid. Now, am I saying don't go over there and get the bag? What I'm saying is come back. See, it's easy to go over there and get the bag, but do you come back? See, you can go get your big money from the Dallas Cowboys. And why would you argue about your money? Just, okay, get the best amount you can get, the most you can get, and don't buy a gold chain, because you know what? The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, his best friend is a jeweler. That's who sold you the gold chain, the $8,000 gold chain, and that $8,000 he gave Jerry too. You thinking $2,000 ain't nothing to Jerry Jones, but if you got people spending hundreds of thousands, he giving Jerry 10, and Jerry putting it in trust funds for his grandchildren, and the people that you bought that $400,000 Bugatti from, that's Jerry Jones' friend too. The person you bought that $3 million house from, and it's only you ain't even got no girlfriend, you live in a mansion by yourself, heating, taxes, and things of that nature, and that's Jerry Jones' friend too. So all you've done is make Jerry Jones and all his friends rich while you think you balling. Or you could be talking to your teammates, and y'all could be three of y'all from Chicago. Y'all come back to Chicago, rehab Inglewood, rehab Chicago. But we're not doing that because we want to be welcome. Even my brother Ryan Clark made a statement last week. If Colin Kaepernick was still in the league, he'd be the face of he don't need to be the face of it. We don't need to strive to continue to make them money. Oh man, I spoke to my supervisor last night. He was saying the UFC people said this one dude was great, but he ain't getting a shot. But if he a millionaire, I don't care about getting a shot. I'm here to get paid. I'm good at fighting, and I get paid to fight. And I made $10 million last year fighting. Mission accomplished. So I don't want to wear your funny looking belt and people don't know my name and no one knows me. So freaking what? I don't need you to know me. I need to get paid. I need to get paid so I can enhance things. That's why I want everybody to watch that Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, Jeffrey, I can't think of his name, Jeffrey Williams, I think, A$AP Rocky. We need to watch that movie because it's asked the question. Is all money good money? Are you willing to do what you have to do, or do you need to be urged on? That's what I want you to understand. Do you need $100 million? Are you willing to take the $65 million so your brothers and sisters can live and eat and thrive and flourish? Or are you just going to continue to do it their way and continue to suffer consequences of their tyranny and continue to try to be welcomed? I'm going to show you somebody. It's video time. I'm going to show you somebody right now. And he's somebody in history that y'all ain't never heard of. I've heard of because I posted him on my Instagram page. I'm going to introduce you to him now. I'll be back shortly because this is something that I really need you to understand.
Before the Black Panthers, before Malcolm X became a national voice, before America admitted that nonsense wasn't always enough, there was Robert F. Williams, a Southern man who refused to bow, a Marine who came home to find the enemy wasn't overseas, and an organizer who chose a rifle when the law offered nothing but silence. In Monroe, North Carolina, he challenged the very idea that Black survival depended on patience. His name has been buried under the weight of safer legacies, his story kept in the margins because it forces us to face what America does to those who fight back without permission. But his life lit the fuse for a new kind of resistance, armed, unapologetic, and unforgettable. Give this video a like to show your support and join us through the powerful story of Robert F. Williams.
Now, y'all see the story of Robert F. Williams. You got the opportunity to do it. You want to watch this in its entirety, you go to Black Journals, or make it itself easier for yourself. Go to www.theendofthebench.com and you can see it right next to this video as well. If you just got in late, you'll be able to watch this in its entirety, and then you'll be able to see the Robert F. Williams story. I want you to understand, I'm not calling for some violent act. I'm just saying, we have to change what we're doing. It's not working. It's not working. You know, one of the things that annoys me is we always say, he invited to the cookout. The cookout. Cookout. Man, he cool. He invited to the cookout. He can dance. He invited to the cookout. He stood up. He invited to the cookout. Are you invited to the damn cookout? Have you invited yourself to the cookout? Are you preparing for a cookout? Or are you just waiting for your opportunity to eat some of Master's butter biscuits? And you might think that's an insult or colloquialism that might have been over the top, but it's not. We are always trying to be a part of a system that hates us, that has chewed us up and spit us out and stumped us into the ground. But it didn't kill us. It did not kill us. It did not hurt us. It slowed us down. A blessing delayed is not a blessing denied. We have delayed our own blessings because we continue to buy into their perception of our success. When I say things like this, that we can open up our own stores, and we can do our own businesses, and we can do our own. It's always somebody saying, again, as I stated at the top of the show, they are not going to let us do that. So why are we having this cookout if we believe that we belong where they have us? Do we belong where they have us? Are we being fairly treated? Are we doing our very best? No, we're not. We don't belong where we are. We're not being fairly treated, and we can do whatever we want in this country. It's enough of us to do it. I want anybody who wants to doubt what I'm saying. I'm going to show you how easy it is for us to come up out of this headlock that the United States of America federal government and white people and white nationalism and hate-filled people have us in currently. These are the ingredients and things that you need to bring to the cookout. Now, let's just use the Census Bureau. They say it's 40 million black people and we make up 13% of the population. How can you do this with 13% of the population? I'm not going to get into how many lies that is and how many statistics lie and people got to be understanding and all that. I'm not getting into that. I'm just going to use some raw dog, buck naked numbers. 1/2 of 1%. I say that all the time. 1/2 of 1% of the population, we can get it popping. For the people who doubt me, is it safe to say if it's 40 million of us, 400,000 of us, not a lot of us, 400,000 people wouldn't be enough people to fill up LA, Chicago, New York. It's some neighborhoods in all those places, Dallas, Atlanta, that got 400,000 sections of towns with 400,000 people, right? 400,000 people is not a lot of people. Now you take 400,000 people. Let's just say we allocate, y'all ready? 15 cents per dollar per paycheck. So you talk about $1,200 every 2 weeks. You're gonna get about $180 every two weeks. So you're gonna get $360. And guess what? You will be that if you do that with 400,000 people. 400,000 people. At the end of the year, you will have $1.2 billion. Now, if you take that $1.2 billion and put it all in one bank, One United Bank, the largest independently owned black bank in the United States of America, San Francisco, California, go online, you can find it. One, ONE, United, UNI, NTED Bank. And we all put it in there. 1.2 billion, and that's just with 400,000. What if we do that and go, whoa, we just put $1 billion in this bank. Now that bank could lend you money for your next business idea. That bank can lend you money to get you a house. That bank can lend you money to get you your next car. And then you got money going right back in that bank every month via mortgage, and then it's the futures in that bank. But what happens if we see that work? And 10 million of us do it. See, 10 million, not even, then we're talking about 25% of the population, 25% of our population. That puts $17 billion in that same bank. Then at that point, we don't care about your credit bureau over here. We got our own credit score system over here. Now we got black farms, we got black businesses, we got things of that nature. See, that's the cookout that we need to be attempting to attend. See, instead of asking everybody to come, see, because if I have to talk you into liberation, if I have to talk you into emancipation, I have to talk you into independence, I don't talk to you. And if you doubt if it'll work, well, how is it that between 1863 and 1872, black people went from 4% illiterate, 4% literacy rate to 84%? 80% of the people learned how to read in a 12, 13-year period. You went from ashy to classy. Some of these people who used to be enslaved became millionaires. My grandmother has land in Tuskegee, Alabama right now, waiting on me. I got cousins who told me that they have 324 acres of land that they had deeded to them from President Garfield. That's at the end of that war. See, 324 acres, land that's waiting on you. Well, how were they able to do it 161 years ago and you can't do it today? And a lot of them couldn't read, a lot of them couldn't write, but they got it popping. They didn't have any technology, but you do. They didn't have this many means for information and aptitude for earning money, but you do. Well, again, go back to the top of the show. You keep trying to go to their cookout, and our cookout is empty. How many of you thought about opening up a gas station? How many of you thought about opening up a corner store? How many of you thought about doing anything on your own besides going to get your own job? How many of y'all who hate your job ever thought about, I got to figure out a way? Just imagine, man, if the average corner store makes $2,800 a day and it's open 30 days a month, that's $84,000. Let's just say 75,000, just for the sake of the conversation, right? Now, take that 75,000, and if you take half of that, which is $37,500, and you just take $25,000 and put it in your own surplus. Which one of y'all make $25,000 a month? Now that $50,000 that you use for upkeep of the store, you do understand your paycheck will be in that part of that $25,000. But then you have that $50,000, you still have a surplus of $25,000 that you can set on fire. And guess what? You don't need a 401k because that's a 401k. And the 401k on earth that's giving you $25K a month. But we're not thinking about those things. We're thinking about doing this. How many of y'all invite people? And this is not a self-grandizing situation. I don't want to promote myself, but I am going to promote myself. How many of y'all have said, I need to get 10 people to listen to rap, man? Rap be saying some good stuff. And then you got 10 more people. Then we got 400,000 people. Then you come on with your t-shirt business. You sell 400 and you sell 40,000 people that t-shirt. Out of that 400,000 people, you sell 40,000 of them that $30 t-shirt. How many of us thought about that? You got $1.2 billion. And a $30 t-shirt, 40,000 people, you got $1.2 million. And then guess what? Again, what if we spend half of it on selling a t-shirt and creating a t-shirt? You still got $600,000. Which one of y'all? And that's only in a month. You sold 40,000 in 1 month. See, that's the cookout. How many of y'all say, hey, how many of y'all reached out to Rap and say, hey, Rap, I like the way you talk. Let's do a show together. Because I know I live in Massachusetts and you live here, and we can talk about Massachusetts and Illinois, and then we can get it popping. Now we got two sets of people. But see, we're not thinking like that because we're thinking, I need to go get a job and work for people. that hate me. They don't hate you. Explain to me why excuse me. Don't want to make a mistake. 300,000 Black women since the 20th of January have lost their jobs. How many of y'all knew that? 300,000 Black women lost their jobs. And I don't mean at McDonald's and Burger King and Hardee's. I'm talking about people in the more corporate offices because they don't want you there. Listen to the way we're hired. There's a such thing in this country. It's called minimum wage. Have you ever thought about what minimum wage actually means? It means if I could pay you less, I would. But the law says I can't. The law says I can't pay you less. That's why you ain't working for free. If you have to argue with somebody about your value, your worth, why are you working with them? That would be insane. But we do it every day. I said, man, they need to give me a raise around here. Or you need to raise up and get the hell up out of there. But then you get mad at people for doing what they do. See, I could get on this and talk about, man, these coons on TV, they be making us look bad. No, we making us look bad. We don't want to go to our cookout, and we want other people to come to our cookout. But the crazy thing is, when you get a cookout, you don't want to have people who are at the cookout. You don't want to invite the people who are not at. See, they are not going to act right. What's acting right? Acting like the general population, or acting like your culture says, oh, he's too loud. What? Go talk to him. Hey, pipe down, homie. We chilling. Oh, my bad. If you come at somebody with adult behavior, they respond with adult behavior. See, we need to embrace us. That 40 million number I gave you is really about 55 to 60 million of us. And if we start working together, like I told you, 400,000 people turns you into a millionaire. Just imagine if we start enrolling some of the best martial artists in the history of the world look like us. So if we start enrolling our children in martial arts, that creates discipline and self-defense. Then we start teaching our children firearm. Why you start off there, Rap? Because every time we've built something, somebody's come and tried to destroy us. But if you got that understanding me with you, people tend not to want to run up on you. So you teach defense, and you teach discipline, and then it promotes academic excellence. And then you have a free mind. So you're inventing things. And then you got 10,000 people in this one area who's moving towards the same place. And you continue to do it that way. See, people think you have to move in these tremendous numbers. No, you just get like people. Like back in the days for hip hop, there was that pro-black thing going, and they used to be like, he my A-alike. Well, you call him your A-alike because he my A-alike because we be alike and we see alike. And that's what we need to do. We need to get around A-alikes, people who think like us. And then we will be alike. And then we don't need to see alike. We need to have our own vision because we have one business, we have one mission. The promotion and elevation of the Black community worldwide. We're going to work on our family. Y'all know my routine, my family, my clan, my community, my nation, and then the world. See, we sit around and we argue with people. Well, I'm not going to argue with anybody. Either you talking about uplifting and empowering my community, or I ain't gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna walk away. If you can even be part of my community, I say, I don't think that's gonna work, Rap. Hey, my man, I holler at you, man. 2 fingers, 1 word, I'm out. Because if I have to talk you into liberation and empowerment, it's too late. I mean, it ain't gonna work, Rap. I know, man. I holler at you, bro. It's been real. It's been real. I would offer this. Black men, hold your friends accountable. David Banner said this on TV a few weeks ago. He said, I don't hang with dudes who cheat on their wives. Brothers, we need to be doing that. It ain't cool to cheat on your wife, dog. You know how we men, get the hell out of here, man. Get the entire hell out of here with that nonsense, man. We need to be embracing each other. We need to be encouraging each other, because something might happen to me. Just like me, I was blessed. Something happened to my father. But I had people like Reggie Lane to look up to. I had people like Jimmy Fields to look up to, Fred Thomas, Anthony Thomas. When I got older, Ray Shannon, Mr. Butler, Mr. Payne, Stanton Payne, Jesse White, Terry Collins. I had a myriad of men around me. Hey, what you doing? We need to get back to that. See, because when we start being communal with each other, black men, and holding each other accountable, and then separating ourselves from the weak, man, staying above the fray, because the fray ain't where it is, man. So you hear somebody, oh man, then check out Shorty. Man, it's good to look and it's good to check her out, but it ain't good to ogle and disrespect, because a lot of y'all egos is fragile. If you saw your old lady looking that same way, you like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, girl? You make me, you disrespecting me. So if you start holding these brothers accountable at work, that ain't my business. Yes, it is your business, because he's raising a young man that may flirt with your daughter or your niece or your cousin. And you want her to be exposed to bum assiness? No, you don't. So if you got men around you, like the Wu-Tang Clan say, my seeds will marry his seeds and marry his seeds. That's how we keep this money all up in our family. So you are hanging with men who are acting like men, who are raising young men and raising your nephews and your cousins and so forth, so on. You setting the stage. What we have to do, again, look at where we come from. You see that, right? Look at where we come from, and then you see who we are, and we can only be better. We got standards to live up to. Ask yourself, would your father be proud of what you're doing with your children's mother? Ain't no broken homes. It's queen of the children. You king of the tribe. That's what it is, man. If your sister have a baby and the dude ain't taking care of him, step up, homeboy. Your cousin the same way. Your homegirl the same way. Your homegirl who the son's father ain't acting right, he should see you. He see you pull up in that slick ride. He should see you dressed to the nines. He should see, hey, young blood, come with me. Come with me so he can see how a man behaves. I can't speak for the sisters because I ain't no damn sister. But I can speak for the young brothers. We need to talk to our young men about being electricians, about being heating and air conditioning people, about being plumbers, about being something. Oh man, they ain't listening. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to your ass either. You watching me struggle from age 2 and I'm 16 now. What the hell you got to talk about now? You could have been talking to me at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then by the time I hit 10, I'm in a better situation. I'm mentally a better man. I'm aspiring to be like you. You know what? I knew dudes who were drug dealers, pimps, and gangbangers. And they saw people stepping out of line and they said, no, catch up with your crowd. This ain't for you. And then some of the guys that I grew up with, they continued to try to get into that world, and they got into that world. And guess what? One of the dudes I'm thinking of, he on the run right now. But the other people are family men, raising their kids and being positive to their nieces and nephews. So you can continue to play this game. Or you can come to our cookout, enhance our cookout, season our meat, clean our grill, make place for our folks, and we can move forward. And then you ain't got to worry about, man, the president, man, he ain't, man, the president don't have no bearing on people who have rich communities. And I don't mean financially rich, spiritually, emotionally, academically, socially. If you don't speak to every man in your community, you're a clown. I'm beating that, and I'm judging you. That's what we need to get to. because there was certain time in this country where every man in your community knew that man. And they were, dude, you don't want that problem. It's a dude in every community. If you of age, it's a dude in every community that will end you. He will change you forever. And nobody messed with him. And he was a relatively affluent dude who dressed like a regular man until it was time to get shot. But every kid in that neighborhood respected that man. Nobody stepped out of line. Who gonna step up to be that man? Or you just want to keep getting a job and worry about the president and look at how the food costs up. And enough of that. With that being said, man, tap in at 8:30, man. 8:30 p.m. on here. So hit that subscribe, like, comment, leave a statement, man. If you like or dislike what I said, I'm with you. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. You ain't got to just bow down to what I say. But tonight, on the forecast, we're going to do Hurricane Katrina, a race against time. It shows you exactly what these people think of us. And for those empathetic people, well, not all of them, but some bosses like us. He would have whipped us on Tuesday. Go ahead, man. Take them legs. Take my legs, because I don't want no more legs. No more legs for Rap, man. Rap tired of getting wrapped across his back. It's time to stand up, man. With that being said, I want to thank you guys. Hit like, hit share, leave a comment, man. I'm open to dialogue. But I'm here to tell you, man, these people don't mean us no good. And I don't want to hear about your cool ass white friend, because I got a bunch of them cool motherfuckers too. And I'm talking about the ones that don't like us. If you watch that Hurricane Katrina documentary, you'll understand exactly what I'm coming from. And again, before I go, I want to say this. I got to say this. I got to say this. I got to say that. Before I go, if you just get here, if you send me an email at send me an email at theendofthebench@gmail.com. If you want to watch this entire episode, if you click the link, you'll watch the end, or you can go to www.endofthebench.com and watch this and the Black History information I gave you. I want to thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you haven't liked already, please do. And with that being said, 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm HRap, and I am.
I often put it this way. In order for us to be in the state that we're in today as people, we have to be out of our minds. We literally have to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be backwards. It is necessary for us to be maladjusted. It is necessary for us to be disunited. It is necessary for us to be self-hating. It is necessary for us to be filled with an inferiority complex. In a world where the European is essentially about 10% of the world's population, if that 10% is to continue to rule over the other 90%, it must keep that 90% out of its mind. It must keep that 90% in a state of deception. It must keep